What would happen if you ate sardines every day for 5 days? Not as a miracle cure, not as some extreme diet, but as one simple food added to your daily meals. You might be surprised by what happens next. Sardines are small, inexpensive, and easy to overlook. But nutritionally, they are packed with protein, omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin B12, vitamin D, selenium, and minerals that your body needs. And here's where things get interesting. When you reach your 60s, your body doesn't necessarily need complicated diets or expensive supplements. Sometimes, the bigger question is whether you're consistently giving your body the nutrients it can actually use. So today, we're going to follow a 5-day sardine experiment and look at what may happen along the way. On day 1, we'll look at what happens when your body receives a concentrated source of protein and healthy fats. By day 2 and day 3, we'll explore what these nutrients may mean for your energy, appetite, and overall nutrition. But there's one important detail most people completely overlook. It's not just about choosing sardines. It's about knowing exactly what is inside that can. The oil, the ingredients, the serving size, and even the type of sardine you choose can make a difference to the overall nutritional value of your meal. And before we get to that hidden detail, let's start with the first 24 hours. Because the first change may not be something you see in the mirror. It may begin with something much simpler. What happens to your hunger, your energy, and how satisfied you feel after eating. Let's begin with day 1. Day 1 is less about a dramatic transformation and more about what your body received from the food. Sardines provide high-quality protein and healthy fats, which can make a meal more satisfying and help you stay full for longer. So here's your first simple observation. After eating your sardines, pay attention to how long it takes before you genuinely feel hungry again. But now we move to day 2. This is where the omega-3 fats in sardines become especially interesting. Sardines contain EPA and DHA, two omega-3 fatty acids that play important roles in normal heart and brain function. Your body uses these fats as building blocks for cell membranes, including membranes found throughout the brain and nervous system. That doesn't mean one meal will suddenly make your brain sharper. But consistently getting omega-3 rich foods can be a useful part of an overall healthy eating pattern. And there's another nutrient hiding in that small can, vitamin B12. B12 is important for normal red blood cell formation and healthy nervous system function. As people get older, getting enough B12 from food becomes increasingly important. Now here's the part one don't want you to miss. Many people see sardines as nothing more than a convenient protein source. But when you combine their protein, omega-3 fats, B12, vitamin D, selenium, and minerals, you begin to understand why this small fish has earned a place in many healthy diets. Tomorrow, we reach day 3, and that's when we'll look at one of the biggest mistakes people can make when buying canned sardines. Because sometimes the fish isn't the problem. It's what comes with it. Now we reach day 3, and this is where you need to pay attention to the label. Because 2 cans of sardines can look almost identical on the shelf, while their ingredients can be very different. Check what the sardines are packed in. Some come in water. Others are packed in olive oil, while some may contain other added oils, sauces, or extra sodium. That doesn't automatically make one choice poison and another a medicine. But it does mean you should know what you're actually eating. If you're watching your sodium intake, check the nutrition label carefully. And if you're trying to keep your meals simple, sardines packed in water or a quality olive oil could be straightforward options. Now let's talk about the part most people throw away, the soft bones. If you're comfortable eating them, canned sardine bones are soft enough to consume and can provide calcium. That makes the whole fish surprisingly nutrient-dense. And don't forget the skin. The skin is edible too, and it contributes additional nutrients and healthy fats. But here's something important. Eating sardines for 5 days doesn't mean you should stop eating vegetables, fruit, whole grains, or other sources of protein. The goal isn't to make one food your entire diet. The goal is to understand what happens when you consistently include a nutrient-dense food as part of a balanced diet. Now we're heading into day 4. And this is where we need to talk about something many people over 60 care deeply about: maintaining strength as they age. Protein becomes especially important here. But how much protein you need depends on your overall diet, activity level, and health. So tomorrow, we'll look at how sardines can fit into a balanced meal, and one simple mistake that can turn a healthy food choice into a poor meal overall. Day 4 is about something far more important than simply eating another can of sardines. It's about what you eat with them. Imagine having sardines on a plate with vegetables, beans, or a whole grain food instead of treating the fish as your entire meal. Now you're building a balanced plate. The protein from sardines can support your body's normal maintenance and repair, while vegetables and other whole foods provide fiber, vitamins, minerals, and a wider range of nutrients. And if you're over 60, this balance matters. Sardines can also provide vitamin D, selenium, and vitamin B12. But no single food supplies everything your body needs. Now we reach day 5. By this point, you may notice something different. Not necessarily a dramatic physical transformation, but a better understanding of how a simple food can fit into your routine. Maybe the meal kept you satisfied. Maybe you enjoyed the convenience. Or maybe you discovered that sardines are an easy way to add more omega-3 rich seafood to your diet. But don't fall into the trap of expecting 5 days of sardines to erase years of health problems. Real health improvements usually come from consistent habits repeated over months and years. And there's another question you should ask before making sardines a regular part of your diet. How much should you actually eat? More isn't always better. A reasonable serving can fit into a balanced eating pattern, but your individual needs depend on your health, medications, sodium intake, and overall diet. And if you have a medical condition or specific dietary restrictions, it's smart to discuss major dietary changes with your healthcare professional. So we've reached the end of our 5-day experiment. But there's still one final piece of the puzzle. How should you actually choose and serve sardines so you get the nutritional benefits without turning a simple healthy food into an unhealthy meal? That's what we're covering next. So after 5 days, what's the real takeaway? Sardines aren't a magic cure, and you don't need to eat them every day to be healthy. But they can be a remarkably convenient source of protein, omega-3 fats, vitamin B12, vitamin D, selenium, and calcium. When choosing a can, read the label. Look for a simple ingredient list, check the sodium content, and choose the packing liquid that fits your overall diet. If you prefer olive oil, remember that it also adds calories. If you're watching calories, sardines packed in water may be a simpler option. And don't forget the bones and skin. If the bones are soft and included in the canned product, they're edible and can contribute calcium. Now here's the bigger lesson. Your health isn't transformed by one secret food. It's built from dozens of small decisions repeated consistently. More nutritious seafood, enough protein, plenty of vegetables and fiber, regular movement, adequate sleep, and a diet you can actually maintain. If sardines help you make healthier meals easier, that's where their real value may be. So if you're over 60, don't ask yourself, what one food will fix everything? Ask a better question. What healthy food can I realistically include in my routine again and again? That mindset can take you much further than any 5-day miracle challenge. If you found this experiment useful, comment sardines below and tell me whether you already eat them or whether you're thinking about trying them. And if you know someone over 60 who could benefit from learning more about simple, nutrient-dense foods, share this video with them. Subscribe to Senior Age Wellness for more practical healthy aging content. And remember, your next healthy choice doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes it can start with something as simple as a small can of sardines.